Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Ian.is Weirdo. Today I am feeling a little bit off, and that means that I'm going to try to ride the wave. I've already taken my rescue med, so this marathon prep might be very short. It might be very long. Who knows? All I know is whenever I do a crochet marathon, I always end up sick because I go from streaming like 1 to 2 hours in a day to doing like 6 to 12 or however many hours I'm doing. So I wanted to just try to start lengthening the time that I'm live so that once the crochet marathon comes around, I'm like a pro at doing these super long ass lives. I'm gonna start by making a packer. I was gonna work on other stuff, but the packer order came in a couple days ago. I haven't even looked at it. I don't even know really what it is. I do want to show you the yarn that I dyed. Now, it's kind of hard to tell because like the differences are very subtle. But like there are just like elements of yellow and then kind of like a slightly brown color. This turned out exactly like I wanted it to. It remains very, very soft. It is not stiff at all. The more you water down the acrylic paint, the more that you retain the softness of the yarn. The more paint, the stiffer the yarn. Of course, if you just purely painted it, it would be very stiff. But this is still very soft. But it has this nice, um, like dappled, I don't know if that's the word I'm looking for, effect. This is one full skein of Bernat blanket yarn, and it's gonna fit my roll really well. Apparently, how I wrapped it in this particular yarn, it dried super fast. It dried overnight, even though it was like pretty much soaking wet by the time I was done with it. So I'm really, really happy with it. Rolling it up, I really saw um, the color variations that I want. Like I said, even if you can't quite pick it up on the camera, it is definitely more yellow overall than it was before because it was kind of an ivory color. And then it has spots where it's more pigmented. So, dream come true. I'm also working on a hexagon cardigan. It's pretty much black, so it's hard to see, but this is the herringbone hexagon cardigan from Bag a Day that I'm working on again because I had to redo the whole thing because I had 7 sides and I was like, maybe I just added a side somewhere like here. No, it was in the very center, so I had to frog the whole thing, and that was annoying. But it is what it is. Let's see. Someone tried to come for me in my one of my YouTube shorts. Hey, good morning. It's 4 p.m. here. But good morning to you, Winter. Let's see. So what packer am I making today? I only have one packer order right now. Like I said, it came in a couple days ago. Um, okay, so it's cream, 5 inches, medium fill. Okay. Order number. What is this share and save thing? What is that? I don't know. Hey Lydia, it's for here too. Okay, so I'm gonna start out with a slip knot like I always do. I'm just trying to build up my endurance and basically endurance training, much like you would an actual marathon. Um, but I'm trying to build up my endurance for streaming for a long period of time. Granted, this isn't the longest stream that I'll have ever done. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, 11. It's going to be just shy of 6 hours. So it's not the longest stream, but it will definitely be taxing because it's an emotional topic for me. It's also, I'm trying to fit a lot of crafts. Got the alien stripper coming out of a cake for his birthday. That's awesome. The most recent episode of Dragula, which is kind of like a horror, filthy, like punk drag competition. They did a um, a challenge where they were like alien sex workers, and it was really really fun. And so definitely lots of like alien like sex dolls. It was pretty fun. Um, so yeah, so I'm just gonna be making a packer. I might literally just like conk out right in the middle of this because I just went from being really tired to really energized. So we all know how that can go, where I can just be like, "Hey, I have lots of energy. I'm gonna do a long stream, blah 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 blah," and then like 5 minutes later, I'm like. So if we don't make it that far in this stream, you know why. I am medicated. Um, Today is the last day I am on my current medicine. Well, I guess it won't be current for long. I kind of want that for my own B-Day. Yeah, that's awesome. Um, and I start my new medicine tomorrow. So I did I asked like my bipolar group if anyone was on the medication and had like any, if they could share their experiences. And so a lot of people said they really liked it, so that was good. Um, and uh, then they uh, one person said they're pretty sensitive to medicine and felt like crap for the first 3 days. So that might be what happens to me. We never know. So I'm just trying to get stuff in while I can, but also like I'm just feeling like a mixed bag of nuts. So we shall see. We shall see how this turns out. The pills are really cute. I'm on a lot of tablets, so tablets just look like tablets, but these are capsules, and one end's white, and one end's like bright blue, and I'm like, ooh, pretty. So I'm just excited to have pretty colored pills, which is pretty pathetic, but leave me alone. How is everyone doing today? In case you didn't understand that, because I had a stitch marker in my mouth. How is everyone doing today? I hope you're doing well. I kind of had a pissy afternoon yesterday where I was in a state of just being fucking angry, and I don't like feeling angry. I don't know. I mean, maybe some people do like that feeling, but I think most people don't. Um, and um, I just, I was ready to fucking burn the world down. But luckily, I was able, just doing good. I just streamed for 2 hours. You streamed? I literally got no notifications. What the fuck? Okay. I'm like really fucking annoyed. Okay, let me switch back to my main channel. Winter, do you know your tag on YouTube? Is it just Winter Nightmare? Literally, why can't I find you? I know you have a different name on Ribbler. So, and sometimes I hate commissions. I love them, but I hate them. Winter Nightmare, this channel. But yeah, it's like, it's not, okay, let's see if I can, I can't, like, just, like, click on you, but, so, like, when I type in at Winter Nightmare, literally nothing comes up. Wait, that's not you, is it? No, that's not you. What the fuck? I asked someone for a underbust and bust measurement. They gave me a waist and shoulder measurement. Okay, here's a bust. They're doing it one by one. Oh my god, I'm gonna kill myself. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I don't know why it's so weird. But I've always had trouble finding you. But I am subscribed. I am ringing the bell. When you check the search bar, I should be the third result when you search for channels. If I type at Winter Nightmare, because that's not what's showing for me. It's just a bunch of just shit that I follow anyways. Okay, let's just. Do you use tags in your video description? Because that might help me find you. Why are you so hard to find? It's just at Winter Nightmare. What the fuck? Why can I not find you? This is annoying. Okay, so I'll spend some time. Winter Nightmare. Oh, yeah, I remember I did have to change it to search filters. Channel. Literally, I typed in at Winter Nightmare, literally only, and I changed it to channels. Only one came up, and it is not you. Ugh. And I know we've had this exact conversation before. Oh, I'm gonna literally just like lose my shit. I'm gonna lose my shit. I'm gonna lose my shit. Okay, so your channel name is at Winter Nightmare Crochet. Just so you know, I'm subscribed. I've rung the bell. Random chat and working on crochet orders. Why did I not see that? Okay, I'll watch it later. So, sorry, let me count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I found you. And I don't know why I didn't get a notification. That is super annoying. But we're back on track. But like I get I haven't had to do that for like other people to have like notifications when they go live. I mean, like I've seen it if it's been like 30 minutes before a scheduled live and it's like, do you want to be notified? But like I have notifications all, which means I should be notified when you go live. I don't. Settings, maybe? No, that's just my settings. Okay. Well, I'll watch it later. Sorry I missed it. But I'm glad you got some crochet orders in. You're working on those. Kind of glad mine have slowed down a little bit so I can concentrate on the Okay, cool. Thanks, Lydia. Oh my gosh. I mean, I don't plan my lives ahead and you all show up, so I don't know. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows the mysterious ways that YouTube works? 5, 6, 7, 8. My hand's hurting already. This is a bad sign. I need to get some compression gloves. I've been eyeing some for a while. And I just need to pull the trigger on that. But I don't know. It's like, I only want to spend money on fun stuff. Fatal flaw of mine. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and start the next row. So what is everyone's plan for the rest of the month? You know, I know a lot of us spend a lot of time crocheting and making things for the holidays. Does anyone have any big plans coming up, or any fun or exciting or new or different or challenging things coming up? I've been having some kind of mixed feelings that are arising as a result of my preparation for the crochet marathon that I'm doing on the 21st, which is the winter solstice. So it's the shortest daylight hours of the year for the northern hemisphere, at least. And then you know, I'm doing it in honor of my grandma who passed from Alzheimer's. And you know, it's kind of pulling at a lot of things. Like, obviously, I miss my grandma. She was a very sweet, loving woman who loved me. And, that's important. But it's also pulling at things that I didn't expect, like thinking about like my own memory issues that I have now as a 32-year-old, and how distressing they are to me, and seeing that kind of mirrored in the beginning stages of my grandma's illness, and how frustrated, 5, 6, 7, how frustrated she was, and disoriented she was when she realized that her memory, when she got reminders that her memory wasn't reliable anymore. And so I'm seeing some parallels, and they're kind of pulling at some kind of hard feelings for me to cope with, because I am very self-conscious of how poor my memory is now. I've been dealing with pain, doing a birthday party live, Saturday night, 7 p.m. Central Time Zone. Okay, I'll try to make that. Usually on weekends I try to reserve those types of times for hanging out with Mel, but I might kind of tune in casually. But yeah, so it's been like but that's great that your birthday's coming up. I think Alive is a great way to celebrate that. Um, and yeah, so I I know that there's a lot of hard work and therefore burnout that a lot of us crafters experience this time of year. So I just want to encourage all of us to take care of ourselves. And in saying that, I guess I need to take my own advice and just go get the gloves. Um, Now, I like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like, I'm a firm believer in like the work that crystals do and stuff like that, but I'm not fully convinced that the copper like lined gloves do anything different. Um, that that like like I just kind of think it's kind of gimmicky. So I was just gonna get regular compression gloves, like fingerless compression gloves, and hope that helps because I have tendonitis in my wrists, and crocheting long periods of time definitely tends to flare that up, or when I'm working with thinner yarn or stiffer yarn or whatever. All those things can flare up my tendonitis, so I'm trying to stay away from that. I probably should just kind of proactively do some anti-inflammatories, but I never think about that until I'm like sitting down. And I'm already in a comfy enough spot. I need to finish doing my gag gifts videos, because that was fun to think of. But a lot of the ideas that I had, I just started writing down ideas, and a lot of them are straight from my brain. I've never seen them crocheted, so I don't know like how to like turn someone to a pattern. I feel like a lot of them are going to be like just make them like freehand them. So yeah, so I just we all need to take care of ourselves in ways that we can, whether that's whether your self-care looks like just surviving, which is definitely hard enough to do, or it's treating yourself, or what have you, whatever you need to do to take care of yourself and survive the holiday season. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Definitely make sure that you are paying attention to your body and your mind, and doing that. So I just realized something today, because I've been trying to post more on TikTok so that I can start getting more of like a social media presence, so that I can advertise my my upcoming fundraiser. And I was looking at all the videos that I've posted, and I was like, I swear that I like did the TikTok thing for a while, and none of I can't. I only have a couple of videos. What? And so apparently I have 2 TikToks, and I don't know why, and I don't know how it happened. Because I don't remember making a new TikTok, but for some reason I have to. So um, yeah, so my TikTok that I'm currently on is Ian at Ian Walker. No, is at Ian as a weirdo 3, but then I have Ian as a weirdo um, as my other TikTok. I don't I don't know what happened. Maybe when I linked my Facebook, or I don't know. So yeah, so if you've seen both of those, that's what's going on, I guess. Um, it's not my favorite like form of communication. I really like being able to talk to people, but um, exploring short form videos can't hurt, I guess. So we're giving it a go, and that's that, I guess. I feel like shit. 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 Do you like my song? I just made it up. It's pretty simple. God, my wrist is so fuck you. Man, I really hope I'm gonna be able to do this marathon. Luckily, not all of it is crocheting. I think part of it was literally just winding this ball of yarn. Because it was so big and it was so awkward around like the stand that I dyed it on, that like it was kind of wrist energy consuming. But I'm really happy with the result. Like, honestly, like, I don't think you can tell on camera, but it does have like these little dapples of like yellow and like more like orangey and like brown. And I'm really, really happy with it. I'm glad that I did all that work. Even if the work is subtle, it's noticeable enough for me. So, so yeah, I'm gonna be for the fundraiser. I'm gonna be doing crafts that I did with my grandma, or crafts inspired by my grandma, or crafts related to the Alzheimer's Association and like the Alzheimer's ribbon colors. Like I'm gonna be making, or starting at least, an Alzheimer's ribbon hat with my pattern. Um, and I need to figure out what I'm going to do with how I'm going to tier the giveaway prizes, because I want to spread them out enough that it gives us incentive to keep moving forward. So if anyone has any advice, if you've done fundraisers like this, if you have any advice, there's 3 crocheted items, a crochet hook, potentially my clover crochet hook set, um, and a Centro knitting machine, um, life coaching lessons, free patterns, um, uh, you know, as much as I can think of to do. So if anyone has any suggestions on how to tier donations, then that would be helpful. Um, so I had to donate $20 apparently to start doing this fundraiser, um, and wasn't fully aware of that signing up for it, but I was like, okay, well, I guess I can spare $20, and so I did that, and I really wanted to do the charity fundraiser, so I I put in 20, and so I'm like, okay, well, if we get past that 20, then I want to do something. So anything past 20, we'll do something. But then I'm like, do I do it in increments of 50 or 25? My goal is 300, but really that's such an arbitrary number that I pulled out of my ass on like how much I want to raise. Like I want to raise as much money as possible. So I don't really like the sky's the limit to me. Um, so yeah, I just um, plan on doing that, and yeah, just kind of spreading the holiday joy and joy of like our family members that have passed or that are experiencing these things. I want to honor them. Um, but I just kind of don't really know how to do this because I've never done this type of fundraiser before. Um, the auction last year was so hard on me. It was like I went into a pretty bad depression, if I recall, afterwards. And um, so I had trouble shipping out the stuff that people had gotten, and then it was like pulling teeth trying to get people to reach out to me to send me their addresses, and it was rough. So I'm trying to take on less responsibility on me, and um so yeah, so we'll see how it goes. Oh, I should probably wear something purple. I don't have anything purple. Do I? Purple's not really my color. And I don't really want to like crochet like a shirt or something. I don't know. I think I might be getting a shirt from the Alzheimer's Association, so maybe I'll get that in time. I don't quite know. I didn't fully read the details because I was so focused on like just getting the fundraiser rolling. So we'll see. If they give me a shirt, then I'll wear that. Otherwise, we'll just do our typical black shirt. Today I'm wearing my wife's Breaking Dawn shirt. My wife is a twihard, and I love her for it. She was a total dork for Twilight. Um, is less so now, but still loves the movies. And honestly, I enjoy the movies for how kind of bad and stupid they are, but they do have some fun elements for sure. So yeah. Um, is my brain depleted? Can I keep streaming? I don't know. My hand hurts like hell. Jesus. I feel like I punched a brick wall. Um, sorry if I'm just like complaining this whole time. Um, we have 60-degree weather today. Over the weekend, we were getting snow. Oh, yeah. but North Carolina is like that, but like shifted. So we'll have like 30-degree weather, and then we'll have 80-degree weather. We don't really get snow here. If we do, it turns to ice very quickly, and the roads become very treacherous. So drive safe if you're driving. You know, always be careful on the roads, but especially in not ideal driving conditions. You want to make sure that you're extra careful when you're on the roads. Here, because we deal with snow and ice so seldomly, we often lose power. So if that happens where you are, make sure you have some supplies just in case the power goes out and you won't be able to open your fridge and you're working by candlelight or by flashlight. Emergency phone chargers are always good. That's kind of the norm here, but I don't think that that's the norm everywhere. Like, I think a lot of places that are used to getting snow, it's just another fucking Tuesday. Here, it's like the whole state just like shuts down, and we're like, what do we do? It's pretty hilarious in a sad way. So I have a question that maybe you all can answer. So when I am crocheting with this ball of yarn, I am going to be putting pony beads on it. If you don't know what pony beads are, I'm sure you've seen them. People use them for their hair or candy if they're ravers. Um, so I'm going to be stringing these pony beads on, and while the hole is fairly large, this yarn isn't exactly the easiest to string things on. Let me just just try something and see if it works. Where's the end? Okay, because I need to put a lot on. So, and this is a bulky, not bulky. This is the super bulky 6. So I'm just gonna get one bead out. Try to use one of my yarn needles. I have this needle in addition to other needles, but I don't have a lot of needles meant for like really thick yarn. Okay, actually that was actually pretty easy to thread. And then, oh, boom. That's actually super easy. Okay, I don't need your advice, just kidding. I'm just gonna keep that on because I'm gonna have to thread it again anyways. But okay, well, some things are easy. It's always nice when they are. So yeah, I'm really excited for this fundraiser, but it is a lot of work that I do behind the scenes to get ready. I spent a fair amount of money getting supplies because I really wanted to make sure that every moment of the stream was packed with something exciting and crafts that we could do together, we could do separately. And I just really want to create a spirit of fun and joy and celebration. I've done that before. I was making keyring holders at Crochet. Oh, nice. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more. Okay. Because I ordered some things off of Temu, which I kind of swore that I wasn't gonna do, but I got duped into buying something because it was like, we'll give you $300 in credits, and I was like, sweet, then I can use it for tons of stuff for the giveaway and not have to. Why are you and the sun awake at the same time? That is a very good point. I had my IOP today, and and so I got up around. I got up at 11, freaked out, thought I was like logged in. Turns out I don't go until 12. It wasn't 12, so I went back to sleep. Woke up at like 12:20. Hopped in the group. I don't often do daytime streams because I usually just try to chill out a little bit after therapy, but I am kind of teetering on a mixed episode. I took my emergency med, so it's possible I could pass out at any second. I won't pass out, I'll just get really drowsy and then I'll just go sleep. But it's like I've got all these ideas flooding in my head, and I just like feel like I need to like get them done. I need to get them done now. I need to, it's a very annoying feeling if I'm being honest. Amy, I think you'll appreciate this. So the the treatment center that I was just in, they've been on my ass. I get messages at least twice a week. Um, Either like text messages from like their like clinical director guy person, um, or I get calls directly from them. And so I've been trying to cooperate, but they're all like with the intention of like trying to get me back. Like if I'm like not good, they're like, oh, do you need to come back? So it's kind of like it definitely feels like it's like, okay, you're just trying to get my money. Like you're just trying to get me to come back. You don't really care how I'm done. And honestly, that place was so horrible. I don't care what state I'm in. I'm not going back. Um, and so so they called today. They called actually yesterday during my therapy session, and I told my therapist, I was like, hey, it's probably this place. I'm just gonna answer it real quick and tell them that to call back. And so I was like, hey, I'm in therapy. Can you call back in an hour? And they're like, yeah, absolutely. And they didn't call back in an hour. They called back today, also during my group session. So it was like, that's fucking annoying, but whatever. And so they're like, hey, we just want to check on how you're doing. And I was like, I'm not doing great. Like I wasn't even going to lie and put on airs. But I was like, I'm not doing great. And the first question after that was, are you still sober? They are hounding me. It's so shady. It's the shadiest fucking place I've ever fucking been, and I don't like it. I am fully convinced that it is a scam, and it is a like insurance like fraud like rod place. Because if you didn't have insurance, like they literally like made people homeless. It was so fucking weird. I mean that was awful. So 2, 3, 4, 5. So then she asked if I was sober, and I was like, I wasn't there for addiction. And she was like, oh, you were here for mental health. Bitch, you called me. You don't even know what I was there for. It was just very clear that they just do these like blanket like calls that just to get people back in the program. Yeah, well, they are definitely not in the business of doing that. Now, I do know that there are, well, I have heard tell by several people that um, not only do a lot of people think this place is run poorly, and this is all after I'm already there, right? Or after. Um, but apparently, the person who owns that in multiple treatment centers, um, like in the area, is very like connected to the mob. And I was like, say, wait, what? And so it's like, it's super weird. It's just super weird. Um, so they're definitely a for-profit company, but at the same time, they're like, we are like a no harm. Like, how did they word it? They said they were like a no harm um uh run, like, uh institution where like they wouldn't like hound people down for money. They were like very flexible with payment plans and all that stuff. And so it's really like contradictory to me to be like, to, you know, have that and then be like they were. Now I did not leave um what's the term? I did not AMA, which means leaving against medical advice. If you AMA, sometimes insurance won't pay. Other times they will pay, but it will limit your ability to seek treatment in the future. But I knew pretty much from like day one or two that it was not the place for me, that they were not a place equipped for dealing with like my level of shit. And I also knew that the amount of time, because I was supposed to be there originally 2 weeks and then transferred to a PHP program that they partner with, where they like everybody rubs each other's backs and stuff like that. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to my IOP that I've been to before, that I had good results in. And they just like put up such a fight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And yeah, so they put up such a fight. And I was like, look, I'm not AMAing because I don't want to get in the way of my like future treatment if I need it. But like, I don't think this is the place for me. I was transparent from day one or day two. I was just like, I told everyone who would listen, this is not the place for me, and gave reasons. I was very logical, very like, fact based. Um, and and then like as time went on, and I felt like more and more people were not listening to me, and not I felt trapped. And I even called like my psychiatrist, and like one night, like in a panic, I like I was like, I feel like I'm trapped. I literally think that they're trying to not let me go. And like, I'm not that type of person. I really have very few to no paranoid tendencies. But like, I was like, I don't think this place is good. I think it's an insurance trap, and I don't think that they're here to help me. I don't think I'm gonna get better here. So please, like, help advocate for me to get out. Like, this is bad. Um, and it was just a mess. So fuck that place in particular. And I'm never going back. I've had friends that were there that did go back, and I'm like, come on, like, you've just gotta like for a lot of them it was their first time in treatment, or they just lived close, and that was like the closest treatment center for them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But it was a mess, and they've just been hounding me. And while my disability decision has not been made, I'm gonna play nice, and I'm gonna answer their calls, and I'm gonna say, no, I'm good, but thank you. Thanks for checking in. But the minute that decision comes in, if it's favorable, they're fucking dead to me. I got all the, I did, I even reported them to the Department of Mental Health. Like, that's how bad it was. And I'm not a snitch. Like, I have very high anti-snitch personality traits. And I was like, fuck this place, because it was so bad. It was so bad that an employee even said, while I was there, we were out for a smoke break, and he was like, he was really cool. Yeah, it is really hard. And he was really cool, but he was also like really unprofessional, which, sometimes was good, sometimes was bad. And he was like, honestly, if DMH came here, we would probably be shut down. And so that like was so many red flags to me, because I'm like, if an employee is saying this, then like that's a real sign of like how truly bad it is. Like that's not good. I've never been in a position where like that kind of shit happens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, I got out of there. I was one of the lucky few that got out of there relatively unscathed. Um, there was so much manipulation and mistreatment of people. It was shocking. Um, and I I hope the best for the people who really deserved and needed help. Um, but then, yeah, I it was I was there 2 weeks. I was supposed to be, but then they tried to keep me there a month, and they kept on trying to talk me out of it and stuff like that. And I was just like, nope, this is not the place for me. I've been in mental health treatment for over 15 years. You're not gonna like. I know myself well enough to know that this is not the place for me. So just let me go. I should, and they would be like, I would, say to someone, I feel like I'm trapped here. I feel like I'm in prison. And they're like, well, you can leave anytime. And I was like, no, I can't. The scholarship that I use to fly here is contingent on me finishing the program. And if I don't finish the program, I don't have a flight home. Um, and then I'll also AMA, which goes in my chart, which means it's going to be harder for me to find treatment. I might not be able to get insurance to pay for it. How are you going to tell me that I'm free? I'm not free. I'm trapped. I'm financially trapped. And like, just no empathy. It was, sorry, I didn't mean to get off on this tangent, but um, anywho. Yeah, and like I've heard that's more the norm of like recovery and detox centers than it is mental health. Because I've been in several mental health facilities, and none of them ever felt even close to that. This place was a recovery, like an addiction recovery center that expanded to mental health to help people who were dual diagnosed, and which means they had both substance use disorder and a mental illness co-occurring. And so the staff was wholly unprepared and untrained. There was no staff training on how to deal with someone who is in a crisis. Which, like, you aren't in mental health treatment because you're doing well, because things are going well. Crises happen all the time in treatment. And literally, I saw so many things that I can't even fucking fathom. But anyways, um, like I have so many stories, but I feel like I've told them all, so I won't drown you out in more of them. But yeah, so we're gone from that into a much more supportive place. Um, my IOP, I like it for the most part. There's one, so I'm in it 9 hours a week. So three, um, like, okay, so there were multiple things that were messed up. There was this one situation where this girl was having like a huge PTSD meltdown. She was clearly in distress. Um, they had everyone on a low salt diet, even the people who had documented low blood pressure, which is like a big no-no. People with low blood pressure need salt to help regulate their blood pressure. Otherwise, it dips too low and they start passing out. There were 3 people that either passed out or like borderline passed out while I was there in 2 weeks. This girl who was having an intense PTSD moment was crying, was screaming. Um, there was one day where, so they got a new clinical director while I was there, and the clinical director decided to crack down on the dress code, specifically involving women and their bodies, and it was so fucking high school. It was disgusting. Yeah, PTSD is intense, and like she was having a really hard time, and so for whatever reason they decided to crack down on like the women's attire, because it's always the women who get the fucking like, oh, you're showing your shoulders, you're distracting men from their treatment. Like, what the fuck? We are fucking adults. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, if someone came in and was like wearing like a thong, like male, female, like in between, none of the above, it doesn't matter. Like, that would be inappropriate. But like, if someone can't wear a tank top, like with like thick straps, like if you're saying that's distracting men from their treatment, that's disgusting. So on that day that they decided to crack down, this girl she wore sweatpants, she wore a big baggy sweatshirt, but she was curled up in herself, and about 6 inches of her lower back was showing. And a nurse was like, sit up, you're showing the whole unit, your back. It's disgusting and it's embarrassing. This is to someone who's clearly in distress, PTSD, and has an eating disorder. And I was getting my meds at the time. I turned to my friend who was having this problem, and I had put things in, like, complaints in on her behalf before, but I was like, I literally can't sit here and like watch this. And I was like, hey, I turned to her and I said, hey, do you mind if I say something? Because I didn't want to do it without her. It's a bag. I know, like a fucking bag. A bag. Literally, we all have them, unless you don't. But like, it's literally it's fucking back skin. There wasn't like ass hanging out. It was and she was covered from head to toe. Like, it wasn't even like she was like, I don't know. And so, I was like, and then she was trying to get her to eat, and she was having trouble eating because she was really stressed about something that was coming up. And she kept on saying like, oh, you can't just drink Ensure, even though like that is what they do for people who have eating problems. They'll give you Ensure or a protein drink or something like that, because it's not enough, and like, you need to eat solid food. we're about to get to the point where we're going to start weighing you. And so I asked my friend, I was like, can I say something? And she's like, yeah, Ian, you can say something. And I turned straight to the nurse and I was like, don't fucking talk to anyone like that. I was like, she has an eating disorder. You have access to all of our medical records. And even if she didn't have an eating disorder, it's still not right to tell someone that their body is disgusting and they should be embarrassed by it. And to try to make them feel worse when they're in a crisis. I was like, I railed into that fucking nurse. And later on, my friend thanked me, and I was like, honestly, like because she was like dissociating, so she barely even like registered what was happening. And I was like, I'm not fucking letting this happen. And I just was like, I don't give a fuck. Like, you are just not gonna treat people like that. It There were several, and that's the person who ended out on the street. The person who was probably among the worst off of all of us ended up because she had the state health plan. If you've ever had a state health plan, you know that coverage is super limited typically, and they kept on trying to push her to go to one of their, pat on the back, pat your back, I'll pat your back places. And she was like, they don't take my insurance. I can't go there. I'm working on a packer. Um, and she was like, I found this place. It takes my insurance. I can go there. And they refused to let her go there because they weren't part of the same big umbrella. I literally, like, thinking about it just like makes my skin fucking crawl. Fuck that place. Just fuck that place hard. With no lube. Um, so yeah, I'm working on a packer. Um, yeah, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. It was a hot mess. But yeah, so those are some of the stories I have from there. And the thing is, these stupid people, they had pretty much total control over your life. They were literally like prison cards. And so there were some things that you just couldn't do. And like they changed up my meds without telling me that they were going to. And so and then I was off of my meds for a while. It's not good for bipolar people to miss meds. And um they didn't tell me that it was going to take a while to get my meds in, so they just literally were just like, well, fuck it, I guess we'll just not give them any meds. And then they didn't take the appropriate blood levels when they should. Yeah, the med switching thing was irate. I fucking rate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then they like also like I had a lot of like extended release medications, um and they just switched them to immediate release without talking to me. And they're like, well, I've never heard, like, I was on Seroquel extended release, and they're like, well, I've never heard of extended release. And I was like, I'm prescribed it and take it. What do you like? It exists. I didn't fucking make it up. Like, so they just switched me. And I had to switch to extended release because on the immediate release, I started having some serious side effects with interactions with other medications. So my doctor had started to spread out when my medicine would peak in my body so that I wouldn't have these side effects. And they were just playing with it like it was fucking nothing. And um, I um, I didn't see a actual psychiatrist until I put my foot down, and I was like, I'm not seeing this nurse psych person, because they say, oh, you'll see the psychiatrist once a week or every other week. You'll see your therapist twice a week. There was someone there full 4 weeks, never saw a therapist. They are so bad. It was shocking. It was absolutely fucking shocking. Um, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But I'm glad to be out of there. I'm glad most of my friends are out of there. And I am planning on, but also like DMH kind of was like very protective of like not necessarily them, but just of like. So I put in a call anonymously, and I said I wanted to remain anonymous because these people had my medical records and I needed my medical records for like continuity of care. And so I didn't want to like piss them off just yet. And then, and so I was like, I would really like to remain anonymous. And they're like, well, we can't take your complaint if you're anonymous. And they're like, we don't have any way to reach you. I was like, I literally called you from a phone number. You can call me. Like, I was like, you can call me. Like, I don't, like, why do you can't take a complaint anonymously? Are you fucking with me? What the fuck? It's. When I came back, Amy, if you remember, I was like, I need to talk. That's what it was about. It was about how bad that center was, and also things I had heard about other addiction centers that I just was so flabbergasted by. And I was like, if this is what people are experiencing, then then I want to help. Like, put me on the front line. I want to help because like I literally, it was so fucking bad. And like I luckily was in a position for the most part, um, and where I could advocate for myself. And so the only reason I got anything done, the only reason I got out when I did, the only reason I got to see a doctor, the only reason I got anything is because I could self advocate. And a lot of people in there were in such a state of crisis that they could not self advocate. The person that I was talking about that had that thing said to them, they could not self advocate. They were just struggling to survive. And so, like, it took the rest of us having to advocate for them. Um, and I just was like, fuck all y'all. Like, fuck your shit. Like, 1, 2, 3. Um, it's crazy. It's the craziest experience of my life, probably. Yeah. I don't know. And like, I think to maybe like I think I truly think it might have something to do with like following up to get additional details, but I like I shouldn't have to provide additional details when my initial story was so compelling and so awful that it like literally just go to the place and see how bad it is. Like just go. Get in your fucking car and go and check it out. And you'll see how fucking bad it is. Yeah, it was heartbreaking, honestly. You don't fuck with vulnerable. Exactly. It was just like they literally took the most vulnerable people and took advantage of their situation. And that's I. I can't even imagine. But then like I heard like this is a lot more common in like addiction treatment, which makes me so sad because like, you know, I've heard of how many crooked addiction centers there are where basically they pay you to come back after you leave, but you have to have a um, positive um, on your P test, your drug test. So they basically force people to relapse to get money and a roof over their head. Like, what the fuck? The system is so broken, and just when you think you know how broken it is, you see something like this, and it's just it makes you want to fucking vomit. It's just disgusting. So I'm glad I'm out of there. I'm never going back. I don't care if that means just the worst case scenario for me. I will never go back there. And um, yeah, so that was my experience. I don't know. Oh, those are people hugging. I was like trying to figure out what that symbol was. I was like, I think I'm gonna finish the scrotum, which I'm almost done with, and then I'm gonna call it quits. Um, yeah, I think I need to take a nap. Uh, this downer is really getting me down. Not getting me down, but I'm just tired and I need to reboot, and I can't really do that on a live stream. Um, just a question. So I'm using StreamYard now. That's a little duck. I guess it's a duck, yeah. Up there. Usually I use Restream, and I wanted to get more familiar with StreamYard because I'm going to be doing my fundraiser on StreamYard because they have the ability to pick comments um, out as winners. So, I wanted to kind of give it a little bit more experience. But do on your end, does it feel any different? Is the quality, any video quality or sound quality, any better or worse? Thus far, I've had less technical difficulties than I usually do on Restream on my end, but I want to know if it feels any different for you all. So I know if I should keep on, you know, doing my live streams from here or if I should do it on Restream. Now, I can't stream on both of my YouTube channels at the same time on StreamYard, so that is definitely a deduction for me. Um, but I can use like a comment picker thing to pick winning comments to give out prizes for the giveaway. Which I'm excited about. I love giveaways, they make me so happy. Yeah, I'm about to end my life too, so. I really want to watch It's a Wonderful Knife. Um, I I feel like that is going to be some good old fashioned campy horror, which I do love. I watched Violent Night the other night with my wife. It came out last year. It has David Harbour in it from He's the sheriff from Stranger Things. He's been in a couple other things. I just love him. He seems like a super sweetheart. Eating cheese slices, yum. Um, but uh, but yeah, I really want to watch It's a Wonderful Knife, um, and see how that is. So I'm hoping it's good because had low expectations going into Violent Night, and boy, was I blown away. It was so fun. I mean, Lydia, you don't need to apologize. Also, the fact that you're a moderator for me does not mean that you have to be like, it doesn't mean you have to jump whenever I tell you to, or like whenever I jump, or whatever the saying is. You don't have to like, I don't require really anything of my mods. If you can show up and you want to show up, then show up. If you don't, you don't. That's fine. I do care. I like spending time with you, but like, you just never have to apologize for anything ever. So just, it's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Really? I only had that one day of like a lot of trolls, and then I haven't really experienced anything like that. I am hoping that for my fundraiser that they stay away, but people love to be dickheads, so who knows? Let me make sure I got 7 in the back with only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nice. Um, yeah, it is really nice. And I don't know if they all got cracked down on by YouTube or what, but like, it's just been nice. And I don't get many trolls very often. I get more trolls on my like YouTube shorts and stuff like that, which I thought would be a good way to get views, but because like I want to get monetized, but I just like I find it just like attracts like the worst kind of person. And I like often stuff I do is really weird and really stupid on my shorts. And like if you don't know me and there's no context there, then when you see my shorts you're like, what the fuck is this? And so I can understand why people are like, what the fuck? But like people can be pretty mean. Like I did a video of me just removing makeup. Um and I was like, my Swamp Witch makeup, and I was like, if you want to, it's literally was just me like washing things off my face, and like someone was like, you need help, and I was like, thanks. Are you a professional? Like, no. Oh, okay. Okay. Also, I am getting help. So it's like, while you're not wrong, this is literally nothing to do with it. You're just being a little dickhead. So anyways, so here is the scrotum of the cream packer that I'm working on. I'm gonna try to sleep, shut my eyes, shut my brain off. I feel like I could crochet more, but also my wrist is a little screamy right now. So I'm going to let you all know. Um, Leave me alone. Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes trolls are fun, but some of them are just pains in the asses. But yeah, so I'm gonna go, but thanks for hanging out with me. I'll be streaming a lot in prep for my um, uh, fundraiser. Um, if you, you know, as we kind of near the fundraiser, if you can start sharing out the fundraiser or even the donation link, those things would be really helpful. You don't have to, but if you want to, that would be a nice way you can help. Get your friends in on it. Like, just, if you go in the description of, I don't think it's in this description. Let me see if I can find this description. No, it's not. Let me see if we can put it in here. Okay, so this is the link to my hold on one second, sorry. Okay, so I've put it in the description. So this is just the Alzheimer's Association link. This is not the link for my stream. So if you want to share it on your community page, please feel free. I would really appreciate it. The fundraiser is on the 21st, which is the winter solstice, which is the shortest daylight hours of the year in the Northern Hemisphere. So I will be streaming from noon Eastern Standard Time till 5:50 Eastern Standard Time. 5 hours and 50 minutes is the amount of daylight hours during the winter solstice. The fundraiser I'm doing is called The Longest Day. They usually do one on the summer solstice, which is the longest day of the year. And but they do kind of an alternate where they do the winter solstice, shortest day of the year type thing. And that's what I'm doing. I just found out about this fundraiser like maybe like 2 days before I shared it with you all. So this is Joan McCaskill is my grandmother's name, and she passed away from Alzheimer's. So if you want to share that out, please feel free. And if you don't, I understand. So yeah, so I will see you all later. I hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.